Well, welcome everyone to the fourth episode of AYP's webinar series on Southeast Asia business expansion, anytime, anywhere, with PEO or EOR. So I'm Clarence, your facilitator for today. While we wait for most of the audience to come in, I would like to take the opportunity to ask some questions to understand our audience a little. So I'll be using the poll function under Zoom. So please select the answer that you want to answer for the poll so that I can have your response. So I'll be releasing the first question. I would basically like to know which country are all of you from. So we have a few places. We have people from Singapore, whether you're from Indonesia, India, Australia, United States, Japan, Hong Kong, China, UK, or if you're in others. So I'll give you all another 10 seconds to vote for those who are just coming in. All right, I see everyone has answered. So, all right, I'll share the results with everybody. I see we have a nice spread. We have people from Indonesia, Japan, Hong Kong, UK, and I even have some from others. So for those who are under others, please feel free to let me know where you are from via the chat function. I myself, I'm in Singapore at the moment, so it's in the afternoon now. So on to the next question, I would like to understand which department are you from? So if any of you are in the management, or if you are in HR, payroll, finance, or others. Okay, I'll give the remaining another 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, got it. And I'll share the results. Okay, so I see mainly is from payroll, from finance, and with some from payroll and others. Well, it's interesting to see that we have a number of people from finance, because since today we'll be talking about PEO and business expansion. Very often we see many people from management and HR as well, but it's something new for those who work in the finance. And if you are here today, you'll definitely be learning something new. As for the others, please do let me know which department you're from via the chat function as well. Now, on to the next question. So this is a multiple choice question. I basically like to know which are your top 3 most challenging HR functions to manage. So we have quite a few options. We have HR planning, payroll and tax administration, recruitment, HR operations and compliance, employee benefits, mobility and relocation, compensation and claims, and work pass management. As it's a multiple choice of 3 choices, please do select more than one. Since there are also quite a lot of options for you to read, I'll give you all more time. Okay, I'll give the remaining another 15 seconds to answer. Basically, just to recap, it's multiple choice, so you have to choose 3 of the options, which you think are the top 3 most challenging HR functions. And I'll close this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody has answered. Thank you. Okay, so I see out of those who have voted, the most challenging one seems to be payroll and tax administration. And I guess it's not that surprising since we have quite a number of people from payroll and finance. Next, follow up, we have work pass management. And we have some spread around HR planning, recruitment, ops, and employee benefit. Surprisingly, no one found compensation and claims or mobility and relocation to be among the top 3 most challenging. So I actually have a little tidbit of information to share with all of you. According to a report researched by the Society for Human Resource Management, it was actually found that executing HR processes smoothly and efficiently ranked first, with 69% of the interviewees finding that to be the most challenging HR function now. And we actually have moving from HR from a transactional role to a transformation role coming in at second with 44%. And the growing of legal compliance came in third at 41%. So, however, it was actually found that 48% of the people felt that legal compliance being ranked 3 would be the top most challenging issue in the next 10 years. And one of the reasons is that the impact of digitalization and COVID-19 actually brings around new legal challenges, HR legal challenges, due to legislative changes in Southeast Asia. So companies now have to actually adapt to new policies on flexible working arrangements and data privacy protection. In fact, in the last 5 years, organizations across APAC have had to pay penalties of up to 1.24 million USD for being non-compliant in payroll. So I put this with payroll as one of the top HR one of the top HR challenges is actually not that surprising, I guess. Sorry, I probably didn't share the results, so I'll share it here for everyone to have a look. Just a quick look. Yeah, as I was explaining earlier. So I'll just basically have to move on to the next question. All right, so this is actually a single choice. Which do you think will be the most challenging for businesses entering the Southeast Asia market? So this one, we have some more generic questions, options. We have HR and payroll operations, different legal systems, raising capital and funding, unique business culture, work pass management, local competition, supply chain risks, or operation risk with hiring staff. You only can pick one, unfortunately, which you think will be the most challenging for entering the Southeast Asia market. All right, I'll give the remaining few to vote in the next 10 seconds, since there are quite a few options to consider. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got everybody's vote. So let me share the result first. Okay, so we mainly have the options across HR and payroll ops, different legal systems, and work pass management. So I guess it's not that surprising to see payroll operations again. And different legal system is also another unsurprising option. And work pass management actually is quite similar to earlier the answers in question 3. So again, I got some little tidbit of information. These actually are very general challenges that many companies have faced when entering the Southeast Asia market, because it's a very whole new market. However, it was found that with the help of PEO or EOR, you can eliminate these challenges. And the National Association of PEO actually found that businesses grow 7 to 9% faster with PEO, or they experience 10 to 14% lower turnover when they are using a PEO service. It was also found that the expected annual median revenue growth for PEO clients was 40% greater than that of a comparable non-PEO firm. All right, I have one last question. So since I've spoken about PEO quite a bit, how much do you understand about PEO? So whether you're here being very well informed, or you just have a basic idea, or if you have no idea and you're actually just here to learn it for the first time. Oh, I got the answers quite quickly this time. So, all right, I'll close it in 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you for that. Okay, so I'll share the results. It seems that most of you have actually no idea, and some of you have some basic knowledge about it. So that's great. You'll definitely be able to learn something new, since we'll be giving an introductory session about what PEO service is, and then we'll try to apply and explain to you how you can enter the Indonesia market with PEO service. So without further ado, I see that most of our attendees are here. So once again, welcome everyone to the 4th episode of AYP's webinar series on Southeast Asia business expansion anytime, anywhere with PEO or EOR. So this is the 2nd webinar series prepared by AYP Group. I'm Clarence, your facilitator for today. So for today's topic, we'll be talking about high-speed entry into Indonesia with PEO or EOR. And we'll be covering what PEO is and look into some details how it can help you enter into Southeast Asia market. Before I move on to the presentation, I'll just quickly clear some of the housekeeping issues with you, so bear with me. So as a matter of introduction, this webinar series has been prepared by AYP Group, a HR tech and services company with its HQ in Singapore. So AYP Group is very well positioned with a regional presence that continues to grow in the ASEAN region, particularly across Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, and Hong Kong. So moving on, as a disclaimer, this series is intended to share with our audience some basic knowledge on PEO services and how it can help businesses enter into other markets. It's not intended to convey any professional advice. You may, however, contact AYP Group directly if you are looking for more in-depth information or tailored advice for your needs. As today's focus is also on PEO, we will avoid sidetracking into unrelated HR issues. But if you have any questions regarding payroll services, as I note that we have some people from payroll department, you may like to take a look at our previous webinar series on ASEAN's payroll. At the end of the session, we will have a short Q&A. So please use the Q&A feature at any time during the webinar session to ask your questions and to like the questions so that the most popular one will appear at the top. You do not have to wait until the end of the presentation to ask your questions. The recording of the webinar will also be made available after the session as well. So if you miss anything, don't worry, you can have a look at the recording. And if any of you are experiencing any technical difficulties, do let us know via the chat function. So now, for today's presentation, it has been prepared by our Indonesia's PEO team. So our speaker is Phoebe, who is our Indonesia team's country manager. So Phoebe leads the Indonesia team and has a wealth of experience, including more than 3 years in HR operations and over 10 years of knowledge in diverse areas, including IT, human resource information system, and consultancy. So thank you, Phoebe, for joining us and sharing us with some of your knowledge today. And without further ado, I'll hand this over to Phoebe to share with you today's presentation. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our second webinar series on Southeast Asia business expansion. I'm Phoebe from AYP Indonesia, and I've been leading the whole AYP Indonesia team. And today I would like to share about how a company can tap into a new market quickly and compliantly with our PEO or EOR. So before we continue with the further details, again, I would like to remind you, should you have any question during this session, please do not hesitate to use the Q&A feature at any time. And also, if you are experiencing any technical difficulties, you may also drop us a note in the chat function. All right. So AYP Group is an HR tech and services. And as you know, we are in the regional presence. And today we will be specifically talking about business expansion in Indonesia. Okay, so today's agenda I will be sharing with you. First, what is the Professional Employer Organization or PEO or Employer of Record or EOR? And how does PEO or EOR work? And for sure, the benefits of using a PEO or EOR as well as the scope of service. Second one, we'll be talking about Indonesian contract types, Indonesia labor laws, and also employee benefits. And next one, this is the very interesting thing I will be sharing with you about our customer success story. And last but not least is the return of investment or the ROI of using a PEO or EOR services. All right, let's start with the first topic and get the understanding on what is PEO or EOR and how does PEO or EOR work and also the benefit, and as well as the scope of service of PEO or EOR. So if you are considering expanding your business to another country, you may have considered setting up a foreign company in your targeted location, such as in Indonesia. However, for many companies, there is a more affordable, faster, and less stressful way of hiring employees in a compliant manner in another country. That solution is using a professional employer organization or PEO. So PEO is a company that manages human resource or HR outsourcing, and other administrative tasks for client companies. All right, so how does PEO work? So here you can see the relation between PEO, clients, and the employee. So the company will act on behalf of their clients to provide greater efficiency of their HR processes from A to Z of HR service. Their payroll and benefits administration are well taken care, and as well as the employer and legal compliance. This contractual business-to-business co-employment relationship enables PEO to assume greater employer responsibilities than what can be achieved. All right. So next here, some benefits of using a PEO or EOR service. Why you need considering use this service? For sure, it's a quick and compliant entry to Southeast Asia markets, and not to spend much time dealing with people issues, cost saving compared to set up new entity, employer of records, payroll and tax administration, employee benefits and administration, HR and compliance on local labor laws and regulations, and also the work pass management are fully supported by this service. All right, so let's move to the scope of service. So it will be covering the employment contract. A written employment agreement in Indonesia must at least contain first the company information, such as name, address, and type of business, and then the information of the worker or employee, such as the name, correspondence address, gender, occupation, and as well as the wages amount. And also the working conditions that include the rights and obligations of employers and workers or rules and regulations. Then the project commencement, including the join and termination date, remuneration and allowances, working time and hours, settlement of disputes, general governing law and jurisdiction, and sign acceptance between parties. Okay, next one is the insurance coverage. So the health and life insurance coverage, it will be depends on the client mandates. And then the payroll service will be taking care on the salary payments, statutory contribution calculation and submission, and tax calculation and submission. The next one is the onboarding process. All the onboarding details will be guided by our expert local consultant, and following with the HR support, will be supporting a company's in-house HR personnel, including forming and maintaining employee records, then preparing and amending where necessary HR documents, such as for reference and termination letter, communicating with external partner, and helping with various business travel of arrangement on visa and stay permit. Stay permit and visa, this is for expatriate employees. And then other local laws and regulation. All right. So let's get more understanding on Indonesia contract type, labor laws, employee benefits, and as well as the work pass management. So there are 3 types of contract in Indonesia. First is permanent contract, which is kontrak karyawan tetap or perjanjian kerja waktu tidak tertentu or PKWTT. This type of contract, a permanent type of contract not bound by a certain time, longer service period, and include probation with a maximum of 3 months. The company or the employer is required to make a letter of appointment for the worker or employee concerned. Second is non-permanent contract or kontrak tidak tetap or perjanjian kerja waktu tertentu or PKWT. This contract is based on a certain period of time, can be held for a maximum of 2 years and may only be extended 1 year, one time for maximum period of 1 year. And on this contract probation is not required to be implied in this type of contract, or otherwise the employee contract will be cancelled. And then a seasonal work, or work related to new products, new activities, or additional products that are still being tested or explored. And next one is part-time contract, or kontrak karyawan paruh waktu. These part-time employee contracts are work agreements where workers work less than 7 to 8 hours per day, or less than 35 to 40 hours per week. And usually part-time employees' wages are paid on a daily basis. This part-time worker is different with freelance or casual workers, usually work without being bound by long contracts. Also, as for freelancer, should work less than 21 days a month. All right, so let's move to the labor laws. The main source of Indonesia labor laws are based on Manpower Act number 13 of 2003 concerning manpower, or the working agreement, employment, relation inspection, termination of employment, Workers' Institute, wages, central governments, and regional governments are based on this regulation. Second is Article 1, number 2, Decree of the Minister of Manpower and Transmigration of the Republic of Indonesia number KEP 100/MEN/6/2004 concerning provision for implementing specific time work agreements. And the third, regulation of the President of the Republic of Indonesia number 72 of 2014, use of foreign workers and implementation, education, and training for companion laborers. All right, so let's discuss more on the employee benefits. Based on Article 79 of Indonesian Law number 13 of 2003 about manpower or labor law, an employee in Indonesia is entitled to receive 12 days of annual leave per year. During the annual leave, the respective employee is entitled to receive full wages. So, besides a monthly salary, there is a religious holiday allowance or festive or 13-month salary, which should be paid at least 1 week before the holiday. If a person has been hired less than a year ago, but more than 1 month, this allowance will be calculated proportionally. And let's move to social contribution. Based on the social benefits law, the employer should pay an old age security amounting 3.7% from salary, and the employees will contribute 2% from their individual salary. The employer should also pay a work accident premium of between 0.24% up to 1.74% of the salary, depending on the type of the industry, and that during with working premium amounting to 0.3% of the salary. Where the pension program, employees should pay additional pension premium 2%, and the employee will borrow 1% from salary, with maximum wages for pension security is IDR 8,939,700, and with maximum age is 57 years old. This is for the BPJS Tenaga Kerja or manpower. And this program is not applicable for foreigner or expatriate for the pension program. Yeah. And then the health benefits allowance may vary amongst companies. The most common health benefits are maximum of a month's salary or a cap to a certain amount for higher level employees. Some companies appoint an insurance company to provide inpatient and outpatient insurance. So, in addition, based on presidential regulation number 111 slash 2013, the employer should register the employee to join with National Health Insurance. We call it BPJS, BPJS Kesehatan or health insurance. The cost of this program is 4% from salary with maximum salary IDR 12 million, or the premium is maximum IDR 480,000 per month, and the employee contribute 1% of their salary to participate this national health insurance. Although there are many good stories about the benefits of this program, we still found there were some progress in administrating the national health insurance, although there are still room for improvements to simplify the process, to improve the quality of health insurance. The company may pay an additional premium to an insurance company that work together with BPJS Kesehatan. All right. Okay, so that's all on the employee benefits. And now let's take a look on the working permits or work pass management in Indonesia. So getting a work permit in Indonesia to foreign workers would need KITAS or Kartu Izin Tinggal Terbatas. KITAS or ITAS is a limited stay permit card which can be valid for 6 months to 1 year. It is essential when you want to apply for the next one. A sponsor can be your local or foreign company as well as your spouse. Then, following by IMTA or Izin Menggunakan Tenaga Kerja Asing or work permit. Work permit, which may be issued from 1 to a couple of years depending on the industry you are in. The length of these permits runs alongside the duration of your work. The sponsor has to be a company in Indonesia, and the sponsor company is the company that either invites you for a business meeting or the company for which you will be working for in Indonesia. An Indonesian work permit is used for services that are considered a job or in the form of labor with wages and salaries compensation. And to get those KITAS and IMTA would need some requirements as follows. First, of course, the copy of passport bio page with minimum expiry dates of 18 months, and then the formal photos with shirt and tie with the size of 4x6 and with the red background. Then latest updated CV, as well as reference letter from the previous company if the employee has been working in Indonesia, would also need their work permit or IMTA. And then the certificate of education completion minimum of bachelor degree, also the copy of insurance membership, and copy of passport and birth certificate for expats who bring their family or children, as well as the copy of passport and marriage certificates for expats who bring their family or their wife. And last is the banking statement of last 3 months. All right, so to get this working permit, need to go through some process in the immigration and manpower department. So here are the process. First, need to obtain the RPTKA. So RPTKA stands for Rencana Penggunaan Tenaga Kerja, or RPTKA Expatriate Worker Utilization. Right after that, we'll get Notification Worker Utilization Plan, or DPKK, or Dana Pengembalian Keahlian dan Keterampilan. So this payment in the amount of USD 600 or for 6 months validity, or USD 1,200 for a year or 12 months. And then issuance and retribution of Telex Vidas. From this process, we'll get first the approval letter from the Indonesia immigration, and a foreign worker needs to convert this Telex into Vitas at an Indonesia embassy abroad within 2 months. And next one is a civil registration. Police reporting and civil registration will need the following requirements. First is a police report letter, or STM, and then the temporary residence certificate, or SKTT, and then the civil residence registration certificate, or in Indonesia is SPPS. Then KITAS and multiple entry permits, or MEP. Avitas will be converted into a KITAS upon your arrival in Indonesia. Then MEP will be issued along with KITAS. Then your KITAS is completed and the employee is fine to stay and work in Indonesia. All right. So here our last agenda of our customer success story, and the ROI of using a PEO or EOR. Personally, I'm very happy to share this story. So one of our PEO partners that serve clients worldwide, they have been with us for 2 years. So they first started out with only 30 headcounts across the region, and till date, they have successfully enrolled more than 150 headcounts with us. And as we work closely with them and function as their company's in-house HR implementer, accuracy and compliancy is the key to long-term partnership that we uphold to our service quality. So we are happy to serve our clients to grow significantly to achieve their goals. And then now we see the ROI of using PEO. So based on 2019 research report by Laurie, Bassi, and Dan McMurrer, McBass and Company, the annual return of investment or cost saving alone from using a PEO is 27.2%. So this 27.2% estimate is based on calculating cost saving for PEO clients in the following 5 HR-related areas. First is the HR personal cost, health benefits, workers' compensation, unemployment insurance or UI, and then other external expenditures in areas related directly to HR services, such as payroll service, tax reporting, and etc. So PEO or EOR can help you achieve better revenue growth and profitability, improve HR policies and practice, employees' work environment and satisfaction or engagement, and businesses' ability to focus on factors that drive business success. All right, so that's all for our session today. And thank you so much for attending this webinar. And then should you have any queries, you can contact us through our email id@ayp-group.com, or you call us at +6 2213 144357, or visit our website. And thank you, and have a nice day.
Well, thank you for the informative presentation, Phoebe. So I'm sure we all had some takeaways from the presentation. And we actually had a number of questions that came in during the presentation, which we have yet to answer. As some of you may note, we already answered some questions, but we kept some general questions that we thought our audience may benefit from learning the answer to. So for the next part of this session, we'll be taking and answering questions. So I have Phoebe with me. I'm glad that Phoebe is here because earlier she had some, she said she might have had some connection issue, but the presentation was very smooth. So I think we are quite lucky there are no issues. So thanks for joining us, Phoebe.
Hi.
And thank you for the presentation as well. So the first question I have is, someone would like to know how can he or she pay their foreign worker compliantly?
All right. Thank you, Clarence, for the question. Okay, so how can the foreign worker pay the foreign worker compliantly? It is quickly and easily through our employer of record service. We are responsible for managing payroll compliance and ensuring both the worker, the Social Security Office, and the local tax authorities are paid correctly and on time. So all you need to do is to agree what to pay the worker and have them sign the approved in-country worker contract and adhere to the agreed upon payroll schedule and leave the rest to us. Don't need to worry about that.
I see. Thank you for that. So if I may just summarize, okay, so it's very simple. Basically, we'll do everything. So we'll be the one who will make sure that the payroll is compliant. So for that, all you need to do is make sure that there's the contract with us and make sure you follow the payroll schedule, and we'll ensure that all the payroll is managed compliantly. Well, thank you for that. So moving on to the next question, someone would like to know what is the maximum length an employment contract could be for?
All right. So this varies from country to country. So we consult with each client individually to understand their strategy for the worker and how long they envisage the role lasting. But in Indonesia, we firstly provide a short-term contract which can be then be renewed.
I see. Okay, so for this, there's no one single answer, although at the moment there is this short-term contract which we can first provide, which then can be renewed. So for this, I think if you really need to know, you can write in to us, and then we can, of course, speak to you and understand you better. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Then I'll move on to the next question. Someone would like to know if you'll be able to provide their employees with a pay slip for every month.
All right. Yes, for sure. So AYP will be able to provide monthly paycheck for employees. The monthly payment record is now easier to access through our HRS account. We call it Just Talent. So the main purpose of maintaining this HR system is to gather, classify, process, and record, and also disseminate the information required for efficient and effective management of human resource in the organization. So this Just Talent is a tool to go, which one can guarantee you an easy access to every employee's payments record and payslip access, but also offers the fastest management for employees' claim and reimbursement. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, that was a very comprehensive answer. And I do note that, so the short answer actually is yes, but she also mentioned quite a few things that it's not just limited to pay slip, but you can manage other things such as your claim and reimbursements, and you can manage all the other HR functions as well. So, well, thank you for that. I have actually one last question here, since I noticed we are coming close to the end of the session. So the last question is something which I think quite a number of people will be curious, since I know that our audience are mainly from payroll and finance. So what are the obligations related to payroll?
All right, thank you for the question. So the obligation related to payroll are health insurance and social security insurance. We call in Indonesia is BPJS. They are mandatory, and certain percentage will be borne by the company and the employee respectively. And the other obligation is tax withholding. So the percentage and type of taxes vary from case to case. And you may contact us to get the information on the specific field for sure.
I see. Thank you for that. Just a quick summary is just the PBJS and tax withholding. However, these can vary from case to case. So for further in-depth information, I think it's still better if you contact us directly. So thank you for that, Phoebe. In fact, thank you for answering all these questions and sharing with us your knowledge through the presentation. Since I think we are quite close to the session, we would have to end it here. So for those questions that are unanswered, please rest assured as we will categorize the questions and we will follow up with an email later. For those who joined halfway into the session, don't worry if you missed out anything, because we'll be releasing the recording of the session as well. So please take a look at that for the parts that you've missed out. You may also email us any questions or queries you may have, or if you'd just like to know how PEO services may help you, or further information on some of the answers that earlier we've provided at the email that we've provided at sales@justtalent.com, or you could also contact us at the contact number. So thank you so much for sitting through our session with us, and we hope that it has provided you with insights on how you can enter Indonesia using PEO services. If you enjoyed our session today, do feel free to join our next webinar session of this series on 7 July, 4 p.m. Thank you so much, Phoebe, for joining us. And thank you, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you at our next episode. Thank you.